Hi, everybody. I am Kathy Goodall.
And I am Genesis Etienne.
We are
Focused at 40.
So,
And
guys.
we're so focused today. Go ahead.
Listen, we have a special guest today, and so we're trying to be on our best behavior. Genesis doesn't know how.
Sorry,
But
guys.
remember last week we told you that we had an exciting, very special guest this week. And so we are excited to have Chade Lopez with us. She is the founder of Shop Girlish and Girlish Mission. And Chade, welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yes, thank you for saying yes. Yes is expensive. Yes is expensive. So thank you for providing us with all of the wealth of you and of your business. We're excited.
So I remember my first encounter with Chade was at the pop-up shop.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. And I mean, I was blown away when I realized that you created all of those products. So first, I want you to tell us about yourself and how Shop Girlish came about.
Right. Okay. So we're just going right in there. So Girlish started because I am a mom of two rainbow babies. And for people that don't know what that is, that means you've experienced a miscarriage before giving birth. So I became extremely, I want to say, radical about my feminine health, or better yet, my menstrual health. So I started to do things that weren't typical to Western medicine that would help me sort of take control of my feminine health and my sexuality. So that's how Girlish came about, and it sort of just evolved to what it is by me just listening to where God was guiding me and understanding what I need and what the other women who are around me needed as well.
Wow. Wow.
It's so niche. It is such a niche. It is so special and so awesome. Yeah. So what I would like to know is, so tell us about what Girlish Mission is dedicated to.
Sure. So Girlish Mission is a nonprofit that I started recently, actually, and I am partnering with Dr. Sadi. I know you guys know her. I love her so much.
Doctor.
I love her so much. So the goal is to reach out to underprivileged schools to provide them with sanitary items for when they experience menses, or when they're bleeding during their period, because a lot of the times when we're younger, that's when a lot of our shame develops, when we get our periods and we don't really know what to do, and we don't have that support at home because they weren't taught either. So we're trying to put products in school, menstruation stations for young menstruators, so that they have access to these products, whenever they're experiencing their period.
That is so great.
Before we start to unpack the shame that we're talking about, tell us what the product line looks like for Girlish.
Yeah, cool. I'll start with the bestseller. I always keep them right here. So this is a V milk, and what it is, I have all vegan earth source products that helps cleanse, maintain, or help with menses of periods. So I have the V milk, which is a wash, and it's coconut oil based. So there's no detergents. It has its own saponification, so it creates its own soap, and it has antibacterial properties. So it helps really, really clean down their moisturize without throwing off your pH balance. And then I have products like Period Pops. Oh, it's right here. So what I've done, I've taken herbs, and we've located with chemists in a factory down here in Miami to find out which herbs really help menses. So like, do I get really bad cramps? Do I bleed heavy? Am I like me? I'm super anxious when my period comes on. I'm anxious, I'm moody, and I have light cramps. So it really depends on what you're experiencing, which is what we try to target. So that's our product line in essence.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it.
So for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about validation. We've been talking a lot about knowing who we are and owning who we are. And, Genesis and I were saying just in our last episode that growing up, there are so many things that we're exposed to, especially culturally growing up in the Caribbean culture. Some things are just, we don't talk about. We don't talk about our sexuality. We don't talk about our period. I mean, fortunately for me, my period came when I was at home. And I freaked out and I didn't know what to do. So you talk about the shame that comes with it. I went to an all-girls high school and I wore a white uniform. And so you know that the easiest thing
Oh my God, for real.
even being in an all-girls high school, it still brought a lot of shame and a lot of embarrassment. And that kind of embarrassment and shame also plays on our psyche, and makes us feel like, you know, all kinds of unworthy and insecure. So tell us some of the things that you have encountered with the girls, and what are some of the things that Girlish Mission is doing to help alleviate those problems?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with my own personal story. Um, I experienced shame with period, as in I didn't want to share it with anybody because I thought it was nasty. When in reality, it's not nasty; it's natural. So now I encourage my son knows what a tampon is. He knows what a pad is. He's not like, "Ew, mommy, that's gross." Like I can change my tampon in front of my fiance, and he doesn't say anything, right? So I have established that boundary with myself into accepting what happens to me naturally. But when I was 12, I got my period, and I was at home, and my sister is 6 years older than me, so of course she had her period already. And I kept getting this little, it's TMI, but I'm all for TMI though, because it, you know.
Hey, boo, hey.
So I kept getting this little brown spot on my panties. I was like, what the heck? Am I not wiping good? Like I'm only peeing. So I kept changing my underwear. My sister's like, what are you doing? Stop putting stuff in the laundry. What are you doing? And I'm like, I keep getting this, and I was scared to tell her because nobody ever prepped me for that conversation, right? So fast forward, to take away that shame, I have a book that I wrote called Period Positive, and I give it away for free. And it encourages a menstruator's parent, sibling, caretaker to teach them intricacies of having experienced a menstrual cycle, not just bleeding and being ashamed of like, have I cleaned well enough? Do I smell bad? But how to control how you feel in those stages and what happens to your body when you're going through those stages and how to take care of it and how to identify if something is really wrong, you know, because sometimes we have cramps and it's normal, but sometimes we have extreme cramps or chronic pain and we don't know if something is actually wrong. So that's how I do. I give those books away for free because we want to start with the education. And when you're educated, you can sort of understand and accept what you're going through naturally.
So hold that thought because I want to unpack that a little bit. Like, I think that what you're doing and what you're providing is so integral. I think that we live in a time now where education is the key, right? I think once people know what is happening to them biologically, a lot of the shame and a lot of the embarrassment and a lot of the curiosity and a lot of the not being forthcoming goes away, right? There are words and there's a vocabulary for what's going on with me. I can teach this to other children. I can teach this to my own children to be able to like start dealing with that stigma, right? And getting that away from how we feel about ourselves. And in addition to that, providing like a major community service. I don't know, you know, even as a grown-ass woman, I have to go to a gynecologist to learn about this pain, you know, or this. It's interesting because you spoke about, you know, how you feel anxiety and you get moody when you're on your period. Well, in my 20s and in my early 30s, I did. And that changed as I got older. And I still don't know. Right. Unless I go to my doctor, I'm like, well, now I feel like my boobs are more tender, or, you know, maybe I cry more, or, you know, my bleeding is different. And we don't even know what that looks like through the stages of our lives, right? Talking about 40. I'm so impressed with Chade because she's young and she's so passionate about what she's doing. She's providing such an amazing service and such an amazing product. And she's so badass. I'm telling you, I'm just impressed. I've seen the book. And the work that she's even kind of started doing with the Girlish Mission, and it's fun to read. It's super educational. It's super relatable. Again, girl, I just sweat you. I sweat you.
Thank you.
You know, it's timely. I mean, I saw Disney put out a cartoon called Red, I think it's called. And at first I didn't. I mean, my nieces who told me about it, but it's funny to me because I watched it and I was just like, this is it seems like an exaggeration to people that don't know what you actually are experiencing.
Yeah.
That is so funny. You know that I didn't know that red had anything to do with menstruation. Like I knew that it was like you know, the changing of a woman, but now I'm like, I can't believe that I didn't know that red was that.
Yes, Jen.
Yes.
So, Chade, how can people get in touch with you? One, where are your products available? And two, how can we get involved in Girlish Mission?
Sure. So anyone can get in touch with me by directly logging onto my website. We do have a contact us tab, and it goes directly to www.shopgirlish.online, or they can follow me on Instagram at shopgirlish, GIRL.ISH. And if someone wants to get involved, I do have a website for Girlish Social Mission. It's www.girlishmission.org, and they can just register to become a volunteer. When we have our next project, we'll reach out to everyone who registered, and then they can volunteer in the capacity that they're able to.
Perfect.
Super
It's exciting.
I'm so excited.
We will definitely share the information on our platform so people can access it easily.
Thank
I know Jen has a
you.
lot of juicy questions for you.
I do. So the first question that came to mind, right, kind of just keeping with the theme of this season, was like, what's been the hardest part? Like, what has stretched you the most? What has taken you out of your comfort zone in terms of your business and your mission?
Are we being like super transparent? Okay, cool. I'll go there. I want to say it's we talked about, you mentioned manifesting beforehand. It's actually making my mental conversation match my actions. So there's so many things that I want to do. You know, when you have ideas and the wheel starts to turn, but then you're tired, right? And a lot of people don't see that side of the business because they see Instagram, they see the pictures, they see the events, they come to the events like our pop-up so event, and they see, oh, you have this product, but they don't know that that product was just a figment of my imagination one day. But then in order to get it going, you really have to make your behavior match with your thoughts. And that's extremely difficult.
Yes.
It's really hard. And that's where manifesting comes. People think that when you manifesting, I want this, and then boom, it's there. No, it's allowing yourself to be disciplined enough and training your brain to really think a certain way so that your body can follow what your brain is thinking subconsciously. And that has taken so much work, you know. It's training myself how to meditate, how to sleep right, how to manage my time, how to have uncomfortable conversations with myself and other people around me. And that's like the only way that I've gotten to the point that I'm at. But I feel like having that mental conversation matching my actions is probably the hardest thing to do.
Wow, that was a fantastic answer.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And you know, I think, like you said, a lot of people see the end result and they don't understand that there's a process, and that process takes discipline. It takes dedication, and like you said, manifestation is about doing. It's not just about thinking
and sacrificing, right? I mean, what do you feel like you're sacrificing now? Speaking to women who are also career people, who are also mothers, what do you find has been like your biggest kind of sacrifice?
My time. That's why yeses are so important. Circling back to you all's topic before, and money. It's expensive to be a business owner. You don't just get a loan. You don't get a grant. People don't just say, hey, your idea is fabulous. Let me give you $10,000. Not how it works. So having the discipline to say, no, I need to do this and I can't go out with you today, or I can't hang out with you, and not really looking for your last episode validation from my friends because I'm around them all the time. They have to take me as I am and know that this is my dream. And if you're going to support me, I need you to understand that I can't commit to you every time you want to go out. And then being disciplined enough to invest in your own business, because that's the only way that other people will want to invest in you. I've been my own investor for a long time, and my business turns 2 years old, but my ideas and my investments go back to maybe 6 years now. You know what I'm saying? So those are like the two biggest components that I feel would be the most important.
Congratulations, Mama. Congratulations.
Okay,
Go ahead, Kat.
I was almost the same thing. I was like, listen, 2 years feels like 20 when you're an entrepreneur.
Goodness.
No, wait. And also being a mom, and also being in school, and also having a job, and being an amazing wife, and having a successful relationship. Like, again, I sweat you. I sweat you. I sweat you, girl.
Funny.
Jen is a young girl talking about I sweat you. I'm like, what? Okay, I get it.
You know what I think would be a great question to kind of like wrap it up a little bit? Where do you see yourself at 40? What does Focused at 40 look like for you?
I just want an abundant life, right? I would say that 4 years ago, me being jumping into entrepreneurialism, I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have a certain amount of kids with my house looking a specific way. And right now, with all the things that I've been through, I just want abundance, life of ease. And that doesn't really match what I saw a while ago, but it's me just having complete happiness with what's surrounding me spiritually. My kids being healthy, my fiance being healthy, my parents alive, my business doing well, regardless of what stage it's in, that I'm just enjoying the journey and not so much dedicated to the outcome because that can always change. So that's why I see myself at 40, just being grateful for what I've done, where I'm going, and where I'm at.
Oh, we love that. And I think that as you get older, you will realize it becomes easier to just appreciate where you are and to stop focusing on everything else that's going around and being able to block out the noise. And so we definitely pray for you and wish for you all of the abundance that you deserve, that joy, that peace, the great health for your family. And he will be your husband by the time
Yes.
he will no longer be your fiance.
Oh, exciting. Oh my God,
Yes.
you're just corny me. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So tell us your handles again.
It's at Chade Lopez. That's my personal handle. Business is at Shop Girlish. And then the other one is Girlish Mission. And those are the ways that you can find me on social media.
And your website?
It's www.shopgirlish.online.
Yay. Well, thank you, Chade, for saying yes and for joining us.
Thank
And
you,
we look forward
guys.
to some more meaningful conversations. And we definitely want to come on the road with you when you start to do this.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yes, for sure,
Yes.
for sure. I love that. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you again next week.
Peace out.